This is the new Nissan Patrol, facelifted and with a bunch of extra safety gear, including AEB, but it's also got a heftier price tag. It's still petrol only, so is the Patrol worth your money? Well, that's what we're here to find out. If you're after more detail on this vehicle, read my full story at carsguide.com.au, and if you're watching this on YouTube, hit like, share it with your mates, and make sure you hit subscribe to stay up to date with all of our news and reviews. I'm driving the TI, which is the entry-level Patrol in a 2-variant range. It has a 5.6 litre V8 petrol engine, a 7-speed automatic transmission, full-time four-wheel drive system, selectable off-road modes, and a rear diff lock. I'm not going to beat around the bush. The Patrol is a big beast of a thing. It looks huge, but it wears its size well and looks good with it. This beefy wagon is 5,175mm long with a 3,075mm wheelbase. It is 1,995mm wide, 1,940mm high, and it has a curb weight of 2,812 kilograms. It has a new looking front with revised grille and bonnet and a new back end. It also has LEDs galore in its headlights and taillights and newly designed 18-inch wheels. Boot space is pretty generous with a bunch of different seating arrangements to suit your needs. There are also cargo hooks, tie-down points and a 12-volt power socket. In the third row, the news generally isn't so good. The seats are quite flat and unsupportive. I don't have a lot of room, legs or toes or anything really, and I'm on the wrong side of short. The good news is there is a top tether point behind me, there are air vents in the ceiling, and there are also cup holders to the side. But it's very comfortable in the second row. I'm sitting behind my driving position and I've got ample toe, knee and leg room as well as plenty of head and shoulder room. There's a top tether point and an ISOFIX point on both of the outer seats. There are cup holders in this fold down armrest as well as aircon controls at the back of the centre console. Up front it's well appointed. There's leather accents, soft touch durable padded surfaces everywhere, and overall fit and finish is really impressive. It's a real classy space. And it's pretty stylish if your idea of style is your granddad's 1970s pool room, and lucky for me it is. The instrument cluster is like something you'd see in an aircraft cockpit. It's a confusion of dials, knobs and buttons. I reckon that 8-inch touchscreen is too small, and I also think it's a bit too clunky. There are 2 USB points up here and a 12-volt socket to keep everything charged and running and ready. There are also cup holders and spaces for your bits and pieces under these cool little flip-up doors. Overall, the cabin has a real practical and premium feel. But what is it like to drive on-road and off-road? Well, that's what I'm going to check out right now. On road, the Patrol is a surprisingly agile beast. It's so tightly controlled, it carries its weight so well, it never feels like a bus to drive. It takes a little getting used to, but you settle into a Patrol state of mind fairly quickly. Steering is sharp and precise for such a bloated vehicle, and it's quiet in here. There's very little noise. The only noise really is that V8 growl, and that's a welcome soundtrack. Acceleration is race fast from a standing start, and there's also plenty of surge when you want to overtake. The 7-speed auto is top notch with smooth and intuitive shifts up and down right when you need them. Safety gear includes reversing camera, a round view monitor, AEB and more. The Patrol does not yet have an ANCAP safety rating. And for something so gargantuan, the Patrol exhibits very little body roll, and that's partly due to its system of hydraulic cylinders cross-linked between the wheels to control stability. And that's surprising because it really does have a lot of wheel travel and a lot of flex off-road, and we'll check that out right now. Off-road, it is very capable. The Patrol rides and handles well on dirt roads, and it feels even more at home in the bush than it does on the bitumen. The Patrol's terrain mode has 4 settings: on-road, sand, snow and rock, and each of those tweaks throttle input, torque and the traction control, among other things, to suit the terrain. So we're on a mate's property and there are a few tracks here that crisscross it. We're about to drop into quite a steep downhill which will take us into a dry creek bed. It's on the camera now, we can see it. We're just going to tick away down. You'll hear the hill descent control sort of biting in here and there, traction control working. A few beeps going off because the Patrol freaked out a little bit because that was very steep, but all in all everything works pretty seamlessly in here. I mean, for something so big it's quite nimble. All the mechanical gear, it really works a treat, and it really works in sync with all your high-tech stuff. You still got to actually have a look and make sure you're safe. I thought ground clearance and approach departure angles and ramp over angles on this thing might be a problem, but for something so massive, long and wide, and with those side steps protruding, it still does it, no worries at all. We haven't touched ground at all. The Patrol has plenty of low-end torque. It's got plenty of grunt to pretty much tackle anything. You'll hear a few beeps going off because we're going to give this steep hill a try, and it's doing it easy. We're creeping up. There's no need to put the foot down, and over we go. Too easy. There's plenty of wheel travel as well, plenty of flex. The Patrol really gets its tyres to the dirt for that all-important traction when you need it most. The Patrol has a 140 litre fuel tank. It has a claimed fuel consumption of 14.4 litres per 100 kilometres. Now that all works out to be about a driving range of a little over 900 k's. Now that's not the best around, it's not terrible, but you really have to factor that in if you're considering the Patrol as a long-range tourer. According to the computer, we're showing a combined 17.5 litres per 100 kilometres. All in all, the Patrol is a nice blend of high-tech driver assist aids and four-wheel drive mechanicals. The Nissan Patrol is a massive adventure machine packed full of features, and it drives surprisingly well for something so big. It's very comfortable on road and it's very capable off-road. Sure, you get a kick in the guts every time you fill the fuel tank, but have a think about the cash you've saved not buying a more expensive LandCruiser. It's not perfect, but it's right up there in terms of functional space, features, capability and performance. You may disagree with me, and that's fine. Have your say in the comments section below.